Today on Commander Replay, after a rough go-around in Game 1, get ready for the Judith Grudge match against the same three Patreons. Next in Commander Replay. Hey guys, just want to say thank you to all of my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. For the launch of Ravnica Allegiance, I'm doing something a little bit special. I'm allowing everyone, including non-Patreons, to vote on which commanders they want to see most from Ravnica Allegiance. Welcome back, everyone. Game 2 with Judith, the Scourge Diva. Game 1 did not go so well. Take a look at our opening hand. No red mana is not the best. But we have a ton of ramp, which I like, so we're going to keep that and just hope to draw into a red. Mox Diamond for the partnered opponent. So once again, we're playing Judith, the Scourge Diva. 1 red black for a 2/2. Other creatures you control at +1/+0. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Judith the Scourge Diva deals 1 damage to any target. And as I mentioned in the first video, we'll be using things like this Gorgon Flail to give Judith Death Touch so we can shoot down lots of creatures. Turn 1 Electrostatic Field coming down for the partner opponent. It's an 0/4 defender. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So Dave is a really big fan of cards like Curiosity, which I'm sure he will try to put on that thing at some point. So the quicker we can get that out of play, the better. All right, here I'm gonna go for a I'm gonna play the Ancient Tomb, play the Gorgon Flail. So once again, I'm joined by 3 Patreon supporters. We have Doc Chalk playing Lena Selfless Champion again. Lays down a Metallic Mimic on their first turn, naming Soldier. So likely on a Soldier tribal deck would be my guess. Or maybe they're just trying to pump up the tokens for Lena, but you probably wouldn't go for Metallic Mimic unless you're playing full tribal. There are a lot of really cool soldiers in mono white with a lot of unique abilities. I did think it was really interesting that compared to Knight Tribal, soldiers have a lot more interesting abilities, where Knights tend to just have like First Strike and Double Strike a lot. Opponent's going to Gut Shot the Metallic Mimic, rough, and Electrostatic Field gets us all for 1. We draw a Godo Bandit Warlord off the top, will not be helpful unless we draw some red mana. We're going to lay down this Yeheni right now. Unfortunately, we can't get past the 0/4 at this moment in time, so I guess we'll just attack the Atraxa opponent. Solitary Trooper coming down for the Lena opponent has Shadow and says whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So our second opponent, by the way, my buddy Dave, is playing this Thrasios and Vial Smasher deck. It's going to be combo-centric. That's his style of play. I think he has a paper version of this where it's going to revolve around a lot of these type of deal damage to an opponent and Curiosity type of stuff. There's a Seething Song, so we're all going to get dinged for 1. And our final opponent, by the way, is Rogaku playing Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Not exactly sure which build of Atraxa they are on. We'll find out as the game gets going. They do have a Pyramid of the Pantheon down. It's kind of cool. You can get the counters on there quicker than having to activate it every single time. Ooh, nice. So opponent's going to Arcane Denial the Seething Song, and they'll both get to draw. There's a Mana Crypt for the Atraxa opponent, so they've got some stuff going. Soul Ring and Mana Crypt. Lots of good mana acceleration right there. Badlands, nice. There's the red mana that we need. So what are we going to do with that red mana is the question. I think I want to... So the question here is, does Dave have the combo piece or not? If the answer is no, then we should probably go for the Thran Dynamo to get all that mana ramp. If the answer is yes, then we should probably hold up something like Imp's Mischief or Chaos Warp. I'm going to go risky here. It's turn 3. It's early. He just drew a bunch of cards, though. Yeah, I'm going to go risky. We're going to go for the Thran Dynamo. That mana ramp will do a lot, assuming that we don't lose the game. So we're going to send the 3/3 Death Touch into Dave, and he'll go down to third floor. Oh, there isn't a Maria in play for the Lena, so we'll have to be careful of that once it gets a little bit later into the game. A Maria is so good once it's active. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, pretty good chance you're going to win the game. Enlightened Tutor for the Lena. There's a Veteran Armor Smith. Other soldiers you control get +0/+1. So, yep, definitely looking like Soldier Tribal. As far as Soldier Tribal goes, that one's not my favorite. While there is some merit to having toughness, I think having +1 power is just going to be generally better than increasing the toughness a little bit. Solitary Trooper going on the attack. It's going to get +1/+1 until end of turn. And also swinging into Dave. Dave's going to Treasure Cruise. It's going to trigger the Electrostatic Field, exiles his graveyard. And that's going to be a steady progress from the Atraxa opponent. They're going to proliferate and draw a card, potentially looking for a counterspell. There's a Lotus Petal coming down, and a Gush, so Electrostatic Field going to trigger again. So he has to discard a land to hand size, and passes the turn. Brings it back to Atraxa's turn. They've got some stuff going with, these produce double, and they've got a bunch of counters on them. Pyramid of the Pantheon now has 3 counters on it, so that's going to ramp quite a bit. There's a Dark Petition for the Atraxa. It's not good. That's going to get Arcane Denialed. Electrostatic Field is going to continue to trigger. Are we going to see a counterspell battle right here? Yep, fuel for the cause. Counter target spell, then proliferate. Nice. So Dark Petition will resolve. Ooh, that's a doubling season. Gross. There's a Sword of Kaldra. That was actually what I was planning to get with the Godo, so that's unlucky. Play the Swamp. I mean, do we just go Beat Stick with Godo? Get Lightning Greaves? It seems reasonable. Or, yeah, I like the Godo plan. So we tap these two and play Godo. And this allows us to leave up Imp's Mischief, so we can potentially prevent game-winning combos. Ooh, we can also get Skull Clamp. We don't have anything to actually Skull Clamp yet, which is frustrating. Oh, or we could go for the Kaldra pieces. I don't know. This is going to be too hard. This is going to be too hard of a matchup, I think. Opponents are playing some very good decks to really try and get Kaldra down, especially early. Actually, Godo doesn't untap the other thing, so I'm actually going to go for the Skull Clamp. I'm going to wait till next turn, though, to equip it, since I really want to leave up that Imp's Mischief. So let's just keep on attacking, and we'll pass a turn like that. Sword of the Animus coming down for the soldier opponent. Sure. That will help them fuel up that Emeria much quicker. Gonna equip it. Yep. Trooper going on the attack. Gonna swing into the partnered opponent. And that'll trigger the Sword of the Animist, and Solteri Trooper will get a little bit bigger. Now, the next thing we need to worry about is this doubling season. If they just lay down a Planeswalker and ultimate it, it's gonna be a problem. Uh-oh. There's a tandem lookout. We don't have removal for that one. Does he have a 1-mana spell? It looks like he has a free spell. That's a Deathrite Shaman. We're not dead yet. Atraxa's opponent has a lot of mana. We are gonna need to start paying attention to them. Yep, there's a Kiora. That's gonna be met with a Pact of Negation, and the Electrostatic Field is about to trigger. Oh, that's not infinite, right? That's not Niv Mizzet. Still very good though. So Kiora getting countered, and there's an Ob Nixilis. Ooh, that'll be really good against Dave if he emblems. That will hurt us a bit too, though. Yep, there's that emblem. Nice. Let's bring it back to our turn. We draw into a second piece of Kaldra. What I do want to do, though, we kind of need to get rid of that doubling season. We only have 1 red mana. It's not great. We're going to get our commander into play, and I'm kind of hoping we're going to move over the Gorgon Flail. Kind of just going to hope to catch a red mana. Well, I guess. Put the Skull Clamp on Godo. We're going to swing this into the Atraxa opponent, the Godo. And where's Yeheni going? Yeheni's going to go with the Ob Nixilis. So Godo will get a second attack. So second attack, Godo... Where's Godo going? I think back into the Atraxa. Question is whether to sack this Godo Bandit Warlord or not. I think we wait. I think we can wait. So I like this kind of whole thing with the Electrostatic Field and the Ob Nixilis trigger. It's going to make everyone's life total low very quickly. There's an Ajani Steadfast coming down. That's a nice little one. Lifelink's going to be huge right here. Everyone's life totals are kind of bleeding down pretty quickly. Yep, going to do the lifelink mode, so creatures get a little bigger. Solteri Trooper going on the attack. Sword of the Animus will trigger, and the Trooper will trigger. There's a Pact of Negation trigger. Oh, I totally could have taken him out of the game. If we had shot the Deathrite Shaman, I forgot about the Pact trigger. Yeah, whoops. Oh, man. Well, he's going to be tapped out for the turn. That's good. So partner opponent could not pay because they couldn't activate Deathrite Shaman once it got to the trigger. It's kind of awkward. So ends up losing. It's a bit awkward. Mana Crypt Flip on the Atraxa opponent. Makes our attack look that much better last turn. Ah, that's an Ugin. Crap. Ugin is bad. Next turn, getting rid of doubling season. Well, they're going to ultimate the Ugin, which means we'll still have stuff. We'll see what... Ob Nixilis emblem's still going. I don't remember Ob Nixilis emblem... Target opponent gets an emblem with whenever a player draws a card. You lose 2... Oh, okay. Yeah, so Dave's still losing life. I got it. There's a bunch of Planeswalkers coming into play. That's a problem. Opponent's going to create a bunch of 1/1s with Sorin. Many 1/1s. They don't yet have haste. Will Kenrith is going to activate. Target player draws 2 cards till your next turn. Instant sorcery spells. The player cost cast 2 less. Ugh. There's a Tezzeret coming down. Going to untap 2 artifacts. Get some additional mana. Can put the top 10 cards of our library into our graveyard. Somehow it only hits 1. Don't know what happened there. Draw a card. Target player puts the top card of their library into the graveyard, so they're just +1ing. Oh! We just got Sorin. I forgot that that's the ultimate on that thing. Usually just the target player's life total becomes 10 is bad enough. Well, might as well use our Skull Clamp now. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter what we do here now that we're not getting a turn. So, I don't know. We're just going to ping more stuff with Judith. Opponent going to Enlightened Tutor. So, we draw a bunch of things that do not matter for this situation. Yeah, we should have Chaos Warped that doubling season much, much sooner than we did. I don't know. Things got awkward with our mana. We didn't have enough colored mana. This opponent plays our Chaos Warp, plays our Soul Ring. Chaos Warps our Badlands. We hit a
Here you had Landscape. Opponent sends our Yaheni into the Ajani. They're going to block with the Veteran Armorsmith. Yaheni gets pumped up, but unless there's a planar... Yeah, most things that happen right here don't really matter. Fog effect? I mean, even if they fog, there's still so many Planeswalkers. Dealing with all the Planeswalker value is not going to get very far. Opponent's going to swing into us with the Saltari Trooper, and it's going to trigger the Trooper and the Sword of the Animist. Opponent going on the big attack. So what's happened over the past 2 games with Judith is that we're facing opponents that are playing in a higher tier of play than the level that I like to play at. I generally like to play in that mid-power zone of decks. I like to use a 4-level tier of power ranking, which is the one used by Play EDH, I think is the best one that I've seen so far, which is casual, mid-power, high-power, and competitive. The decks that we've been facing are firmly in the high-power category, so probably at the upper ends of that. So they're very fast, very powerful, a lot of mana rocks, a lot of acceleration, that sort of stuff. Somehow we survive at 4. Opponent miscounted. We're going to get to untap. I don't know that that means a whole lot. Oh, well, they soar into us. We're still at 1. We're still at 3. They can just bolt us with Ugin. Yep, and there we go. So down we go. Moral of the story right there. If you see a doubling season, shoot the doubling season. It was a bit awkward. We're trying to further our own board state right there. But as I also mentioned, we're playing decks that are just in a higher power tier level than what we're playing. So I didn't expect great results going into this. This deck has quite a few like 5, 6, and 7 drops in it. So it's a little bit clunky on the back end. Also, we're running things like Kaldra, which are fantastically mana inefficient. So yeah, not much that I can do about that. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.